Hello, beautiful souls. I hope you're well. Today, I wish to share with you, as usual, my most authentic self because it was crucial to me by doing these videos to always remain very authentic and vulnerable and real about who I am, what my life is. And today, I wanted to share with you a reflection on a topic that is important to me these days. And I do not do this video to bring answers or to pretend to be bringing answers. It is a reflection, and perhaps we can reflect together, and perhaps this modest sharing can make you also reflect on that topic, and perhaps you can comment and tell me how you feel about it, and we can all grow in this experience. As the title of this video suggests, I want to talk to you about forgiveness and forgiving in those times particularly. Just to put you in context, presently I'm taking care of my two parents who are right now having the big flu. They're isolated at home, the two of them, in their apartment, and I bring them everyday things because, yeah, you know, they might need things, and so I see them very vulnerable, and I mean, they're going to be okay, I think, but it's just, you know, it's a moment when you're less into the I'm a coach and super positive type of energy, which I try to try to aim at all the time, because it's very important for me to be in really high vibrations all the time, because I think it's my job as a human being to raise the consciousness within myself first, and if this can contribute to raising the vibe around me, well, good. So, but you know, some days we're fragile and sometimes we're vulnerable, and sometimes we have to accept that. And this is one of those days. And so I just wanted to give you that context to explain why perhaps I'm a bit more vulnerable today in what I'm sharing. But this topic of the great flu is partly connected also to that question I want to talk to address today. As you probably know, since if you've been following this channel for a while, I would be considered in the norm, what some people call a conspiracy theorist, in the sense that I believe that everything that is happening right now, not only because of the big flu, but also because of the jab and everything, that was planned, and this has a purpose, which is extremely nefarious. But I don't want to get again in that topic. As you know, I encourage you to do your own research in this topic. I wanted just to put you in context into why I want to talk about forgiveness, because this whole notion of, big flu, or people thinking it's a really, really dangerous illness, and also the jabbing question, those that they get jabs and those that don't want to get jabs. And as you can see with the truckers right now, I've been saying this for 2 years now, but other people are starting to disclose the fact that there's a big problem with the jabs, but again, everyone is free to believe what they want. I respect totally that, and I just encourage you to do your own research. So the way in which this jabbing thing is related to my topic of today is that, and I think that this can talk to many people around you, is that notion of polarization that has taken place between people, for the last 2 years. You have, I'm sure that each family or group of friends have their normies, people who believe, what the government tells them, and that are very, very, they're respecting the laws and everything. And then you have your conspiracy theorists, or people who believe that there's another version to all this. And I'm sure all families and all groups of friends or whatever have suffered from a polarization, and many of these groups and families have actually, some of them have split, some people don't talk to each other anymore. Some people are in really big wars between families and things. And since I've been discovering what was really happening in the last 2 years, I tried, of course, to explain or to show some information to my family. Some of them were aware of it. Some were totally closed to it and were not believing me, and kindly made me feel like I was just a total conspiracy theorist. So I respected that. It was important for me to respect everybody's opinion as long as everybody respects mine. And that goes for the jab as well and everything. I never judged any of my family members that actually got the jab. But I was not for it, obviously, because I didn't have it and I was totally against it, the same way my parents were against it. And so this, within my own circle, created some tensions as well. I mean, in my own family, and this is what I want to talk about today, there was some dissension, and, partly coming from me because I felt hurt, because particularly one member of my family, which was very close to my heart, was not believing what I was saying. And for me, in my values, in my personal values in terms of relationships with people, lucidity, consciousness, respect, benevolence, and be conscious and try to be there to open yourself to other visions of things, but also being just and benevolent by accepting that someone else might have another opinion, and that perhaps there's something there interesting to explore instead of just rejecting it. Those are values that are really important for me, and in some way I fell apart from that person in my family that was close to me. I'm not judging that person at all. I'm just saying that we fell apart because I will just speak on my side. I felt somehow betrayed, not heard, not believed. I felt that my opinion had no meaning, and it was hurtful for me, and I felt rejected. So the point here is not to determine who's right and who's wrong. The point here is to talk about the fact that I ended up falling away from that person, and a bit in anger. And I will be quite honest with you, like, I don't usually talk about my personal stuff, but I think in this context it can be interesting. Personally, I've always been a person, because of many factors during my adult life, I worked in a tank. I was living my life in an emotional tank. When I mean tank, I don't mean like a fish tank. I mean like a Panzer, war tank, in which I would constantly live in a state where I would dissociate myself from my emotions and my emotional states to become strong, to stay strong, to be functional, to be performative, to perform, and to be, functioning 100%. And I was never really connected to my emotions very well. And it's only in the last year or so that I've been living here alone, doing all that process of working on myself, that I've realized that I was living in a tank and it was not serving me at all. And since I've been doing that, I've become more vulnerable emotionally. I've become more sensible. I hear my emotions now. I feel them, and I actually let myself live my emotions, which I wasn't doing before. So in the previous context, when I was in my tank, I also needed people's validation so much that if someone would hurt me, or if I felt rejected or hurt or judged or whatever, I would be hurt for like a day or so, and then after that I would say, I don't care, it's cool, I don't mind. I'm not like, I didn't want to be one of these persons that, like, have like this residual anger, and that they're not going to forgive you for like 100 years, and they're just going to keep it within and let it ruminate inside. And I've always been like a very forgiving person, and I was like, So that was a good thing in a way, in the sense that I was not like hurting myself by keeping, hating people, but I was hurting myself in the sense that I was not really listening to my own rhythm in terms of forgiving. And just by forgiving the next day was a way of just avoiding conflict and avoiding not being loved by someone, or being in a situation of mutual anger or whatever. And now that I've done this work on myself, I realize that it is tougher for me to forgive. And I thought, is it your ego? Is it like because you're more stuck in ego, you're getting older and you're stuck in ego? And I was like really scared of that. And I reflected on that for a couple of days. And my realization was that I don't think it's my ego. Well, it is my ego in some way, because, unless we're completely enlightened, ego part plays a big part in our life. But what I realized is that in that particular situation, the reason why I was unable to forgive for that person, my family, to which I'm very close to, is not because I was an ego, but mostly because I was really, really hurt, and I had a tough time getting over that, what I felt was betrayal in a way. And so, but this time I was listening to my feelings. I was accepting them. I was facing them in order to transcend them and choose light and love. Okay. Which is, I think, the most healthy way to deal with emotions, and not the way I was doing it before when I lived in my tank. So I'm at the point where I feel like I'm closer to forgiving to that person I love very much still. But, I'm not there 100% yet. I'm going to have to continue listening to myself and reflect on this, on also on my part, because it's not a person's fault. Or, we both have our things. I was too sensitive and took things too personally. Maybe that's my part, and that I own that, and I have to work on that as well. But I just need to work on this stuff, and I'm sure the forgiveness, the completely felt forgiveness, will come in good time, and then it will be time to see that person again, and we'll be able perhaps to exchange again and build on our relationship, hopefully. But the reason why I'm sharing all this sort of personal stuff with you is because I feel that beyond my own personal situation I explore here or share with you, I think this applies to a lot of situations that are taking place right now, not only between families and groups of friends and environments in general, which have sometimes fallen away from each other because of the jabbing or the conspiracy theorists versus normies thing and whatever. And I believe that beyond that, in terms of being humans right now in a planet that is raising itself in consciousness, and a humanity which is supposed to be rising in consciousness, I think it's our duty and job to be able to really ask ourselves, what are we really feeling? And do we really want to continue being in strife? I don't know if that's the word, or anger, or this polarization of opinions. I think everybody's entitled to their opinions. Everybody's entitled to respect themselves. That's very important. And to respect the other's opinion as well. Very important as well. But if we get stuck in this anger, and we get stuck in this non-forgiveness, we're not getting into the aim of depolarizing our world and raising our consciousness. We're not at all. We're actually, the nefarious energies in the world right now are actually winning from an attitude where we polarize ourselves. So we need to unify. We need to be more forgiving, to be more loving and benevolent and conscious. And I think that's the only way we're going to be able to rise in vibration as a species, as a planet, as people. But again, I think, and I put this in the balance of in the reflection. Yes, forgiving is important, and I think this is really something we should all aim at if we're angry at people. Also, a lot of people are leaving us right now. A lot of people are dying. I don't know if you've noticed. Animals, pets, people, older people, young people. And I guess it's time to heal certain relationships, in case someone goes. That's important as well. But that's another point. But I think it's our responsibility to heal ourselves, first of all, and to be able this and to heal our relationships by doing this as well. And but reminding ourselves and always keeping in contact with our own emotions. If we're not ready to forgive, that doesn't mean that we're never going to forgive and that we're full of anger. It just means that right now we're not ready to do so. That's okay. It may take a few days, a few hours, a few weeks, a few months. It's possible. And I believe it is important to follow our heart and our soul and our emotions and respect our rhythm. I used to not respect my rhythm in this just to avoid conflict and be friends and be nice to everybody because I was a people pleaser. Still is, and I'm working on that a lot. But I realized that it's important to respect our rhythm. So I'm putting both of these aspects into my reflection here. On one side, the importance of forgiving, yes, but perhaps not at any price and at your own rhythm in order to be able to really, really know your feelings, feel them completely. I mean, if you're angry, you're angry. Just go and live your anger until you don't have anger left. Don't pretend you're happy just because you want to be friends with the people around you again. Live your anger. If you feel the need to live your anger, live it. And then when that's completely gone, then you can you face it, you realize why you were angry. You might talk to the person you were angry at and explain how you felt benevolently, in a very non-violent way, in a very benevolent way, in a very respectful and conscious way. And then that makes you transcend that conflict, and then everybody's a winner. It just takes a little time sometimes. So like I said, I'm not bringing answers, I'm just bringing two elements to a reflection in the hope that this can be of use to some of you, very humbly, modestly, because, like I said, I don't think I bring solutions. I just bring questions, and perhaps this, and also my personal experience presently of what I'm going through, and perhaps this can and be modestly a way um, to reflect on your own feelings and eventual conflicts you have with others or whatever. So this is a long video, so I'm going to let you go now. So I just wanted to share that with you in all humility and in all my vulnerability today. I hope you're well, and I send you lots of love. If you enjoyed this video, I encourage you to like it. I most encourage you to comment on this video. If you have something you would like to add to this reflection, I'd be honored and happy to exchange with you on that topic. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And you can always go and visit my website at abigaëllerichard.com. And I send you all my gratitude, my love, my good high vibes and loving vibes. And I hope you have a really beautiful day. Take great care of yourself. Bye.